Who is killing Dungeons & Dragons? There is no question that someone is actively trying to destroy Dungeons & Dragons from the inside. But who would that be, and why would they do it? The Dungeon Class investigative team has uncovered the truth. You just have to follow the evidence. It seems like only yesterday, but it was January of last year when Wizards of the Coast started disassembling the company from the inside when the OGL changes were leaked. For years, Wizards was happy with playing the long game with a very generous gaming license that brought them a ton of money by allowing creators to carry their water for them by making third-party content that led back to them. But they decided maybe we can milk these creators for more because apparently the money they got from Drive-Thru-RPG wasn't enough. When everyone boycotted D&D Beyond, they backed off. Why would you want to alienate the Dungeons & Dragons creator community? Summer of 2023, we saw the highly anticipated D&D movie come to the theaters. It was a movie that finally had a great story and top-tier actors. The reviews for the movie were great. It scored a 91% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. However, in what seemed like an effort to sabotage the movie, they released the movie between John Wick 4, the latest chapter in a very successful franchise, and the Super Mario Bros. Movie that was guaranteed to be a smash hit. This movie didn't have a chance. It had to compete with the buzz of John Wick 4 upon release, and just as it was building momentum, it had the end of its run chopped off by Super Mario Bros. The company decides when to release their movie. Why sabotage your own movie? In the fall of 2023, we saw the beginning of the AI scandal, as in August they issued a statement telling artists they must refrain from using AI generation as part of their art creation process for developing D&D art. Now that is how you make a hard stand. You must refrain. Yep, that's clear. This was in response to people finding they used AI art in Bigsby Presents Glory of the Giants. Later, Magic the Gathering's fans spotted AI art in the advertising for Lara Croft's Secret Lair. Again in January of this year, Wizards of the Coast reiterated their policy on AI art that they should refrain from using AI. The next day it was revealed they used AI art to create promotional art for Ravnica Remastered. Consequently, Dave Laposa, one of my favorite artists who created art for Magic the Gathering for many years, quit right after this, saying, and just like that, poof, I'm done working for Wizards of the Coast. You can't say you stand against this, then blatantly use AI to promote your products. Emails sent, goodbye you all. If you're going to stand for something, you better make sure you're actually paying attention. Don't be lazy, don't lie. Why would a company that needs artists to create great art for their products alienate artists like this? At the end of 2023, we saw Wizards of the Coast lay off 1,100 employees because they did such a great job. D&D and Magic the Gathering had increases in sales while the rest of Hasbro sales went down dramatically. But strangely, they laid off workers from the part of the company that was doing well. Perhaps more notably, the whole team who worked with Larian Studios to make the most successful D&D video game of all time were fired as well. More on Baldur's Gate 3 later. If a business is falling, you fix what is broken, not break what is working. Going forward, who would work for this company knowing that even if you did your best work, they may let you go? Even if your division is wildly profitable, who does this? One of the biggest bright spots of last year has to be the success of Baldur's Gate 3. It has sold over 10 million copies and is the highest rated video game of all time. Absolutely phenomenal job that nobody saw coming. The Baldur's Gate games are some of my favorite games, and apparently I'm not the only one. This was a very different game from the earlier games, but they were super well done. People are thinking it would be great to see some DLCs in the future. Larian Studios originally said they had no plans for DLC content, and then yesterday they announced they're moving away from D&D. What? You just made the most successful game of all time and you are walking away? Perhaps Sven Vik's statement the day before at the GDC Awards when he was collecting the award for Best Narrative for Baldur's Gate 3 shed some light on this decision. Greed has been effing this whole thing up for so long. Since I started, I've been fighting publishers my entire life, and I keep on seeing the same mistakes over and over and over. Maybe firing the whole team who worked on your successful video game wasn't such a good idea. You just messed up any future with the company that scored a home run for you. Why would you sabotage the future of Baldur's Gate games? The latest scandal is the survey that was and then wasn't. As part of their 50th anniversary, D&D Beyond released a survey and said they wanted to know what you think of the game and what you think of how Wizards of the Coast is doing. After a short time, they pulled down the survey. Many think they didn't like the trend of results they were getting. Now, the chances are they never would have shared those results, but as our good friend Bob Worldbuilder pointed out, it would be interesting to see those results. How does everyone feel about the direction that Dungeons & Dragons is going? How does everyone feel about Wizards of the Coast as a brand? Bob has recreated the survey so he can get an idea of what the results might have looked like. The survey link is in the comments so you can participate. As for them putting the survey out and then pulling it so quickly with no explanation, it reminds me of WWE The Rock when he would ask someone what their name was.
What is your name?
I told you!
It doesn't matter what your name is!
We want your opinion. It doesn't matter what your opinion is. Why would this company not want their customers' opinion? So what does this all mean? Why sabotage this company by breaking everything that is working? Who would even have that kind of power? That question is easy. Cynthia Williams, president of Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro Gaming, certainly has the power. But why? Why would she destroy the company? What motivation would she have for doing such a thing? Maybe the answer lies in this quote from BizWomen, the Sacramento Business Journal. Cynthia Williams was young and growing up in Lexington, North Carolina. She was told she couldn't play Dungeons & Dragons with the boys because she was a girl. That sounds like a villain origin story, doesn't it? This, of course, was all tongue-in-cheek, but all of this undoubtedly falls at the feet of Cynthia Williams. I don't really think she's actively trying to tear down the company, but the other possibility is she is way over her head. Her experience was with Xbox gaming. Dungeons & Dragons and Magic the Gathering, for that matter, aren't anything like Xbox. I do, however, wonder what the CR rating would be for Cynthia Williams. Tell me down in the comments what her CR rating would be, and if you're feeling really industrious, what do you think her stat block would look like? Class dismissed.